Hello, Apes, and welcome to Chapter 24, Sustainable Solutions. We are going to continue where we left off from Chapter 1 and talk about sustainable ideas for our future, for the world, for the school, for all the topics that we have, not all the topics, but for all the topics that we will be covering this year. So let's take a look at what our things that we're going to understand in this chapter. We're going to look at the university efforts to promote sustainability, so we'll focus on one university in particular. That is going to be De Anza College, and that is going to be the central case study that our chapter will center around. You can read about De Anza College on page 654 in your textbook. I believe it continues over to 655, so please make sure that you read that. And you should be reading your chapter along with these outlines this summer as well. So if there is a question that comes actually before the PowerPoint does, you can have your textbook handy, and again, you should be taking notes on this. We're also going to be looking at the concept of sustainable development. Throughout the year, we're going to talk about different kinds of developments, urban development for one, city development for another, and we're going to look at what sustainable development means. We're also going to consider how environmental protection is going to help economic well-being. There's a school of thought out there that believes that in order to be environmentally safe that you have to spend a lot of money, and that's not the case. Initially there might be some investment, but then you'll be saving so much money in the long run that it actually pays for itself. We're going to look at different approaches for designing sustainable solutions, and then we're going to really focus on the idea that our time to repair the environment, to repair what we have done so far, is very limited. And we do have the technology right now to start solving some of the problems that we are facing. And we need to be aware that if we do not work towards a solution, then there's the tremendous potential that we are going to outuse our resources that are available to us. So here's a picture of some students at De Anza College, and one of the things that you need to know is this is a community college. It's a community college that is found in California, Silicon Valley, where Apple Computer and Company is located. There's about 24,000 students on campus, making it one of the largest community colleges in the area. And they are one of, or they want to become one of the greenest community colleges in the United States. There was I guess they started somewhere in 1990 with developing a college environmental advisory group, and they created this, bringing together some students and faculty, staff and administrators, and some community members so that they could encourage green building and other sustainable practices on the campus. That was the goal. They felt that colleges and universities are central in developing members of society, and they wanted to teach those members how to consume the resources, how to consume the resources sustainably, how not to add to pollution, and how to recycle as some of the goals that they had. So it was something that we call the nation's first LEED, Platinum Sustainable Building. So let's talk about what LEED means. We're going to talk about LEAD in Chapter 13 again, so this is something that you'll hear in more detail. But LEAD stands for the Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design. And this is basically as a result of the U.S. Green Building Council. And the buildings, new buildings or renovation projects, have to apply for this certification. It's a special type of certification. And depending on their performance, they may be granted silver, gold, or platinum status. So what that means is that they are approaching energy conservation within their buildings and in their design, and that it's efficient in the construction and appliances and systems and lightings, and they use clean renewable energy. The actual site that they build on previously developed land so that they can minimize erosion and runoff and water pollution. And they use regionally appropriate landscaping and integrate that with transportation options. That the indoors, there's improved air quality, that they provide natural daylight and views, that they improve the acoustics for the sound, and the materials that they use are sustainably grown and harvested, and the products that are produced are used from reduced or recycled or reusable waste from that. And that as far as their water use is concerned, that they have efficient appliances and landscape for water conservation outside. So that's a little bit of an idea of what LEED is. So the college had the nation's first LEED Platinum Sustainable Building, and they also have 5 other LEED certified buildings as well. And within these buildings, the students can learn about sustainability. The college has also incorporated the idea of sustainability in almost everything that it does. And to go to the college, you have to have an environmental studies and science classes each year so that you can understand the impacts. So here's the location of De Anza College. It's right outside of San Francisco in California. And this is one of their science classes, the environmental science classes that the students have to take. The students here, this is Ryan Phillips, training the students in tracking and surveying wildlife to help perform research into the importance of habitat corridors so that they understand what habitats provide. So let's talk about what sustainability means. It means that you're conserving your resources to prevent their depletion, that you're using them wisely, you're reducing, you're reusing, and you're recycling, and we'll talk about those again. You're reducing waste and pollution. Just think, we're really a disposable society where we toss things out that are broken. And I remember my dad was an electrical engineer, and he used to make television sets, and that's what his design was. And he would save parts of television sets so that he can put them into other television sets. Today, when our plasma screen TVs go bad, we toss them out and we buy another one. There's no saving. And this is what we have to go back to. We have to go back to saving those. And then protecting the ecological processes in the process, because those ecological processes, as we've talked about, they provide ecosystem services to us, and those ecosystem services are invaluable. You cannot, even though somebody did put a price on it, you really can't price what the services mean to us and our ability to survive. So a sustainable solution is going to ensure environmental quality, economic well-being, and social justice. And these are things that we're going to be looking at throughout the year. We're going to look at environmental quality. What kind of conditions are we creating in the that environment. We're going to consider the economic well-being because, again, we've talked about this mindset that people think to be sustainable, you're going to have to put out a lot of money. And as we suggested, maybe initially, yes, but then you're going to get that money back. And then social justice. And this is something where people say, well, social justice, well, we're thinking globally because we're thinking of those societies that are underdeveloped. And we're going to consider the impacts of war and what they do to the environment. So social justice is going to fit in as well. We also, in a sustainable campus, need to make sure that the efforts made are going to be at every level and from every individual, and that whatever we do on the campus or whatever is done on the campus can be taken and used throughout the nation, throughout the world. So colleges and universities and students like Deanza, they're trying to educate and play a crucial role in building the knowledge and the respect for our resources. So they're hoping to serve as a model for diverse sustainability initiatives that buildings and cities and towns can use across the world. So here's a percent. This is a graph, and you're going to have to make sure that you really focus on being able to interpret these graphs and material like this, because on your exam they will have this and you're going to have to be able to tell them what this means, what it represents. So this particular graph that you see here is the campus sustainability efforts, and it shows the frequency of different pursuits of schools across North America that responded to a recent comprehensive survey that was taken. And the survey was done in 2008 and was part of a national report card on the sustainability of higher education. And it was produced by the National Wildlife Federation, Campus Ecology, and it was part of the Princeton Survey research as well. So this looks at the percentage of schools that are undertaking any sort of sustainable energy or sustainable efforts. And you can see by this that about 90% of the schools recycle and they compost. Okay, we know that we recycle. Do we compost? I don't think so. About 80% of the schools, they have lighting efficiency upgrades. And now with the new types of light bulbs that we have, I think you'll see that that number is going to increase as well. Water efficiency upgrades. One of the critical concerns of the Sisters of Mercy is water. So you see all the new water fountains that we have to reduce the amount of water usage, water bottle usage. Then reduce the paper demand. We've gone to OneDrive, and you're doing a lot of your assignments online and you're not printing out papers. So we can go down and we could talk about each one of these, but as you can see, when we get into renewable energy generation, very few schools are at that point. Okay, so one of the ways that you can begin to see what's needed at your institution is to do an audit and find out the baseline information that the school does. So we've talked about a few things. We know that we do recycle. We know that we've got special water fountains to conserve water. We know that we've gone to OneDrive to reduce our paper usage. So these are the things that we're going to look at. And then from there, we're going to be able to establish our priorities and goals. I'm looking at the time. We're almost running out. We're going to come back to this in the next screencast. So see you in a minute or two.